Hey, I wanted to spend some time to do this review of your resume. And correct me if I'm wrong, but am I pronouncing your name right? Is it Nabiha or Nabiha? Let me know if I've got that wrong. I want to make sure that I get your names right when I'm doing these reviews. Okay, so far, like I said in my email, I think that you've got the basics done, or at least to a really good level, compared to a lot of other resumes I've looked at in the past. That being said, I do think that there are some opportunities to improve your resume so that it's clearer for recruiters and hiring managers. The first thing that comes to mind for me is that your intro section is quite bulky. And what I mean by that is there's a lot of sentences and a lot of bolding. Whilst I do think that bolding can be helpful for highlighting the most important aspects of your resume, I think adding too much means that you kind of lose the value that you provide. For example, I can see that you're highlighting things like HR, talent acquisition, typically the things that would probably appear as keywords inside of a job description. It would actually be best if you rewrite your resume section, introduction, or your career summary, so to speak, that focus more on the impact that you've delivered over your career up till now. And now, obviously, you work in people operations and HR, so you most likely have done some form of hiring or being involved in talent acquisition in the past. But just some of the things that I've seen that tends to work well is rewriting this so that it's more of a career summary focused on the most impactful achievements that you've done during your career. So I would be expecting to see that show impact. So, for example, I think it's great that you say you've got 8 years of HR experience, and you talk about the different things that you've done. So where you mention that you've got a proven track record of leading DEI initiatives, it would be great if you mention an example of a DEI initiative and what metrics you were specifically responsible for. You also mentioned here about how you helped to create a culture of inclusivity and employee well-being. So I'll be curious to know, what is the, let's say, for example, employee net promoter score, if that's a metric that you do use, employee engagement rates. It would be good to see what the current percentage increase has been during your working career. So that would be something that's quite impactful. If you would like me to send over some examples of what this may look like, I can. I do have an article where I kind of write some of the key areas about how to write a good resume intro and career summary. So areas of expertise, okay, this is great, but again, they're like keywords anyway. I think that each of these areas of expertise should ideally have a supporting statement that showcases the impact you deliver in each of these areas and what are the key metrics for these. That being said, I also am just going through and just checking to see. So you've got your technical skills at the bottom. One of the things that I would recommend is rewriting, just reordering the structure. Your professional experience and accomplishments should definitely go before your education, especially because you coming up 6-7 years experience or 8 years experience, as you say. So therefore your education certifications, whilst important, the priority, and it's what you've done in your roles that come first. So professional experience and accomplishments, I would definitely say I'll put that above education. I would maybe even put that above areas of expertise, because people just want to know that you can do the role and that you've actually got experience in the role. So professional experience and accomplishments would come next. Education and certifications I would then bring under your experience. And then you rate your technical skills, which I think is great. Sometimes I also do recommend putting 1 or 2 statements or quantifying statements for some of these as well, and just to help round it out a bit more. And whilst it may extend your resume to 3 pages, that's not necessarily a bad thing, because it's all about, you want to give yourself the best opportunity of being seen and getting through to interview. Again, in your bullet points, I think there's a lot of bolding, which does make it hard to read. And given the fact that hiring managers and recruiters, as you know, don't tend to spend too long reading a resume anyway, it means that it can be just difficult to get the most impactful stuff. So what I would suggest doing is, you could have this as your master resume, but then create a new resume, like duplicate this, create a new one, and within each employment experience, put only a maximum of 4 bullet points of your most impactful stuff. Like you've already got 4 here, you've got 4 here, 3, 4 here, you've got 5, so take away 1 from here, and you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 here, so remove 3 from there, remove 3 from there. It helps to keep it more compact. I would remove a lot of the bolding and instead bold the metrics that are most important. So, and that's something that you also need to include, because I can see a lot of statements and a lot of things about what you've done, but I'm not seeing the impact. And I think that's probably the biggest bottleneck right now. So it's saying that you've managed things, but what was the impact of that? That's the question that I'm curious about. Yeah, so this is a very good example of that one. So driving employee engagement and morale. So I'm curious, what was it before you did the culture building activity initiatives? And you mentioned, companies. Well, I'd be curious to know, are there specific initiatives? And mentioning 1 or 2 projects is key. You mentioned the project, what you did, and then the impact that you delivered. Also, a formula that I like to use is to show the impact that you did and what you did in order to achieve it. So what was the name of the initiative and then what you did? And the same basically applies to most of these bullet points. So I would definitely rewrite each of the bullet points to account for that, showing the impact on that front, especially the ones that you can remember. If you don't remember ones from earlier, then that's fine. But at least in your 2 most recent roles, you should try and see if you can add some numbers to those and just remove as much bolding as possible. And because it looks quite blocky, it might be worth including a paragraph spacing between each bullet. And yes, it will extend the length of your resume, but with you reducing it to 4 bullets per role, it should still be fine. But yeah, other than that, like, this is a really strong resume in general. And I think that's just to reiterate, the sections to improve is this summary section. It's too bulky, too much bolding. Consider adding qualifying statements and quantifying statements to all these things that you claim to have areas of expertise, which I believe of course that you do, but you need to show them that you do. And put education certifications to the bottom, and professional experience and competence comes up top. Put in some character spacing, the paragraph spacing, remove bolding, quantifying statements of impact first, then what the initiative was and what you did, in that order. And I like the way that you've mentioned additional experience. I think this is good. This is a very good way of ensuring that your resume doesn't end up becoming incredibly long. I like that. But yeah, let me know what you think of that. If you need any more extra help or any tips, or if you want me to rewrite it for you, then we can help with that. But I think you've got a good foundation to work with. If this helps, and I'll speak to you again soon. Take care. Bye.